They're shapeshifters.
Okay, prove you're not a Skrull.
For Complex News, I'm Hanuman Welch. Another week, another peek at the next tentpole Marvel Cinematic Universe entry, Captain Marvel. Now, the latest trailer has given fans their best look at the villains with the introduction of the Skrulls, a shape-shifting race of aliens with a long, long history in the Marvel Universe.
Skrulls are infiltrating your planet. They're shapeshifters.
Okay, prove you're not a Skrull.
So, who exactly are the Skrulls? Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1962, the shape-shifting aliens first appeared in Fantastic Four #2 and returned in issue number 18, impersonating the team. The results of the ancient celestial experimentations, the Skrulls were broken down into 3 subspecies. Prime, who are very similar to the human race in look and lack of power, the Deviants, known for their shape-shifting abilities and green skins, and the Eternals, who had powers and long lives. Naturally, they all got into a struggle with one another, with the Deviants winning, becoming a powerful galactic presence and expanding the Skrull Empire, which leads us to the Kree-Skrull beef. Invading the planet Hala, homeworld to both Ronan the Accuser and Mar-Vell, both of whom appear in the movie, the Skrull Invasion ultimately dooms the planet with additional Skrulls landing on Earth where they assume human form to continue their expansion. Now, in the pages of 2008's Secret Invasion, some of those forms included a few faces we've come to love. Sure, some fans were bummed to learn that their favorite heroes were actually undercover Skrulls. Spider-Woman, Hank Pym, Black Bolt, Elektra, Jarvis, Dum-Dum Dugan, and more were all revealed actually to be Skrull imposters. 2008's Brian Michael Bendis penned Secret Invasion with Linnell Yu on artwork appears to serve as the prime storyline for Captain Marvel. In it, hundreds of citizens of Earth alongside a handful of superheroes are revealed to be Skrull sleeper agents who then enact their years-in-the-making plan to conquer Earth. While Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s, it's plausible that the Earth-based invasion has already begun. When we meet Carol in the film, she's already on cleanup duty returning to Earth and, punching older women in the face on the bus. During production of Captain Marvel, press was invited to the set and executive producer Jonathan Schwartz hinted that Secret Invasion was discussed during the project. That's cool, right? Yes, we talked about Secret Invasion. I wouldn't go into this movie saying which one of these superheroes is a Skrull because Carol is more or less the first superhero to show up on Earth. But are we planting the seeds for future movies? Always. Planting seeds is just about the most appropriate way to tackle how Marvel would set up Secret Invasion. In the comics, the Skrulls spent years quietly and strategically replacing key figures around the globe. Government figures, military personnel, superheroes on various teams, all so they could destabilize Earth's defenses when they make their move to take over the planet. Now, if the Skrulls of the MCU will have been active on Earth since the 90s, then that means they've had decades to replace key figures, and literally anyone could secretly be a Skrull right now. Cap, Winter Soldier, Black Panther, hell, maybe even Killmonger, who died at the end of Black Panther, was actually a Skrull, and that's the back door Ryan Coogler can use to ensure that Michael B. Jordan joins the upcoming sequel. According to Schwartz, that doesn't mean one of your favorite heroes has been a Skrull this whole time, though it doesn't necessarily rule it out either. Like all entries in the MCU, we are pretty sure that Carol and Fury emerge victorious, and the best way for the Skrulls to lick their wounds and plot revenge would be to subvert S.H.I.E.L.D. and start the long game of taking over Earth through the government and infiltrating the Earth's heroes. Since Marvel is in full-blown promo mode ahead of the release of Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers is also starring in a just-launched solo series. The new series, written by Kelly Thompson and drawn by Carmen Carnero, returns Captain Marvel to New York City after a stint in space as the first line of defense against alien threats. The series will reinforce Carol's role as a heavy hitter in the Marvel 616 universe, as well as further establishing the character as a central female superhero. Speaking with the New York Times, Kelly Thompson revealed how she planned to bring Carol further into the spotlight. "I think the character is incredibly important, maybe now more than ever. You really want her to be accessible to new and younger audiences who are going to see the movie, fall in love, and want to seek out another Captain Marvel story. But you really want to respect the fans who have loved the character for decades. I think there's a razor's edge there." And while this is the first time Carol will be introduced on screen in the MCU, Agent Nick Fury also returns in a de-aged CGI turn just as he meets Captain Marvel and learns there are super beings in the universe, including on our very own planet. Captain Marvel will not only set up Endgame and future Avengers films, including a potential Secret Invasion, hopefully, but it'll also be an origin story of sorts for Fury. Jackson also may have let a massive spoiler slip while filming the movie. I mean, the Avengers are up against some really tough odds right now. We saw that throughout Infinity War. So now we know we need something that's as powerful as Thanos, and at some point we'll find out how powerful she is and all the things that she's capable of. She's one of the few people in the Marvel Universe that can time travel. With Jackson revealing that Captain Marvel can travel through time, it's a pretty massive spoiler for Endgame and the future of the MCU. The fact that Captain Marvel can travel through time means that the heroes don't need a time stone or quantum realm time vortexes to move back and forth through time. You just need Carol Danvers. So Marvel seems to be introducing two very comic book elements, time travel and shapeshifters, that give future MCU filmmakers an entirely open backdoor to reintroduce characters that have already been killed off or revealed to have been a Secret Invasion double agent. Now, maybe the time travel bit is a tiny bit of a MacGuffin because it shouldn't be that easy to beat a civilization that can literally lay in wait for years before ever striking. Could Marvel be playing the long game here like they did with Thanos, with Skrulls appearing in cutscenes or subtle nods in a scene with our heroes, and keep the Skrull threat throughout the next phase of the MCU? Now, while we also wait for the Fox merger to complete and bring in the X-Men, it'd be worth the time spent keeping these characters in play as the MCU expands. But the fact that Brie Larson's character can travel through time has huge implications on what could happen between March, when Captain Marvel drops, and Avengers Endgame in April. That's all for now. Let us know what you think about how the Skrulls could alter the trajectory of the MCU, and for everything else, subscribe to Complex on YouTube. For Complex News, I'm Hanuman Welch.